Hello! Jamie here with this Let's Play of Planescape Torment Enhanced Edition on PlayStation 4. Santa was really kind to me this year and slipped down the chimney and left a copy of Planescape Torment all wrapped up for me under the tree. So thank you, Santa. I must have been good all year because he's delivered my favourite game. And it's taken till now for me to actually get a chance to play this. So I'm really excited to have a playthrough of Planescape Torment once again. But this time on PlayStation. It was originally released on Windows back in 1999. So cast your minds back to then. That was when Phantom Menace came out, Star Wars Episode 1. Yeesh. So one good thing happened that year, and that was Planescape being released. Now, if you haven't heard of Planescape Torment, that's absolutely fine. It is 20 years old, so maybe you weren't even around then. But if you were here watching this, you are in for a treat. As I've said, it's my favourite game, and it's for good reason. It got RPG of the Year when it was released in 1999, and since then it's constantly topped the charts of RPGs, greatest RPGs of all time. It's got an incredible story. It's got amazing voice actors. It's a really interesting setting that's really different from all of the other Dungeons and Dragons settings you might be familiar with. It's a top-down classic role-playing game, so in the style of Baldur's Gate 2, and Icewind Dale, which actually comes with this. So there is Icewind Dale on here as well, and I'll be doing a playthrough of Icewind Dale also. But I'm focusing on Planescape today. Now, because it's that top-down view, when we go into this game, the graphics are what they are, but actually modern iterations of styles of this game have been pretty true to how these games used to look. So if you think about Divinity Original Sin or Pillars of Eternity, they've basically stuck with the same style, and for good reason, because it works. Yes, they're text heavy, there is quite a bit of reading in this, and I'll be reading out the text for you, so don't worry. If you're listening to this in your earphones, I'll do all the talking, so don't worry about that. But it doesn't really matter how the story's delivered when it's this good. So actually, let me just click into this and give you a little flavour of what this story's about. So you were the Nameless One, a hulking figure covered in scars and tattoos collected over the course of countless lives, none of which you can remember, but are now coming back to haunt you. You awaken in the Mortuary, surrounded by the dead, and embark on an adventure from the dirty streets of Sigil into the depths of hell itself. Soon you will discover that some destinies cannot be escaped, and some memories are greater burdens than even an immortal can bear. Honestly, I don't want to say too much, because we'll uncover the story as we go through this together. It's maybe 50 hours of playthrough if I was to do all the side quests. I have played this before, so I'll stick to the main story, and I'll do the most interesting of the side quests, or the ones that I certainly find most interesting. So we'll go through those. Stick with it. Honestly, stick with it, because hopefully you'll see once you start getting a sniff of this story and uncovering some of this Immortal's past exploits, you'll want to know more, just as I did 20 years ago when I played this and I was absolutely hooked. And this, remember, I'm coming at this as someone who has played this before, and I want to play it again. I want to invest that time again to go through this, so that's testament to how good it is. It mentions here Sigil in the little spiel, the streets of Sigil. Sigil is the centre of the multiverse in this setting. You can go through the planes of existence. Like hell is one of the planes. You've got heaven as well. You've got a plane which is made entirely of water. You've got one that's made entirely of fire. You've got all these different interesting places you can go to. You visit some, but not all, of the planes that are in the Planescape's Dungeons and Dragons setting on this particular adventure, but the ones you go to are really interesting. And Sigil in particular, with it being the centre of the multiverse, is really multicultural. It's my favourite place of all the Dungeons and Dragons cities that have ever been created. I really think it would be good as a Jim Henson collaboration if they ever came out with a series like Dark Crystal with puppets and stuff. Sigil would work really well for that, because it's got these crazy creatures in it, weird monsters, strange looking, near human looking people. It's got everything you could imagine. I always just imagine it as a Jim Henson kind of scene. or your Star Wars cantina scene when you get out of the city, get out of the mortuary, sorry, into Sigil and see it for the first time. Honestly, I know I'm getting over the top here because I just love it. Absolutely love it. Let's go into this and let's start a new life. I did have a brief playthrough, play around with it just to try and get used to the controls. I'm still no expert with these buttons. Remember, this was originally released on Windows, so it was a mouse and keyboard game, and Beamdog and Skybound have got together to work out how to take a mouse and keyboard game and make it usable and workable on a PlayStation controller. So yeah, I'm getting to grips with it. I may stumble over the buttons, forgive me for that, but we're all learning it together. So let's start a new life. They've remained true to the original video. They haven't done anything to this. As you can tell. Gratuitous thigh action there. Jiggly bum. That's you on the slab. That's the nameless one. That's Sigil, the city that we're in. Bit of nightmare fuel for you there. This is us in the mortuary. She's important. We'll meet her. I think it's good that they just kept it as it was. You know, they could have done a re-enhancement of that, but they left it as it is. Okay, now we've got an opportunity to distribute some attribute points, and if you're not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, this format has been seen in a lot of games, hasn't it? Where you've got principal characteristics and they will help you in certain ways. So if you bump up your strength, it's going to help you in fighting. You're going to do more damage when you hit people. If you bump up your intelligence, you're going to be smarter. You're going to solve puzzles a bit easier. So they all make sense. We've got strength, wisdom, dexterity, charisma, constitution, and intelligence. Normally, my advice would be do what you want, and that's true. Do what you want. Distribute these points as you see fit. But when it comes to Planescape Torment, there's one characteristic above all which is really, really key, and it's wisdom. There's a background benefit where it will give you added experience points, so as you solve challenges and defeat enemies, you'll get extra experience points. It's not really for that you're doing it. Because this game is about this guy here, the ruggedly handsome, wrinkly fella in the middle with the dreads, because it's about him uncovering the memories of the past lives he's led, wisdom helps you do that much easier. And not just much easier, oh yeah, do this and it'll make the game really easy. I mean that you're going to get a richer experience. He is going to get further into his past if your wisdom is higher. So I'm going to bump that right up. Now, you can, at this stage, try and veer towards one of the classes. You can go one of three. You can go a fighter, you can go a mage, so a wizard, and a rogue or thief. And dexterity is for a rogue, intelligence for a wizard, and strength for a fighter. Most people, because intelligence is important for the same reasons I gave for wisdom, but just to a slightly lesser extent, most people put points in intelligence, and then charisma as the last one. I'm not going to veer too far from that, to be honest. I'm going to try and play a rogue this time, simply because I never did. Most power gamers will tell you to go all three classes in various orders and then stand on your head for 10 minutes and then kiss a frog, and then you'll have the most uber powerful character. You don't need that. You don't need that. Not for this. You can play it how you want, as long as you put points in wisdom, I would say. You can kind of distribute the rest as you see fit. So I'm quite happy with that. He's really wise. Wisdom is of heroic proportions. Thank you very much. His charisma is above average, and he has exceptional intelligence. As you go up the levels, it's that kind of system that you might be familiar with role-playing games. As you go up the levels, you'll gain more points to put into these statistics anyway to help boost them. So you can direct it that way. But I'm happy with those. I think yes, and we will. Do I want to take one off wisdom? No, no. Don't worry, I'm not this indecisive all the time. Right, we're going to go with that. One hell of a hangover.
Hey, Chief. You okay? You playing corpse or you putting the blinds on the dusties? I thought you were a deader for sure.
I don't know if you'll recognise the voice actor's voice who plays Mort. He's really talented. Obviously, he can change his voice to match whatever role he's playing. The voice actor for Mort is actually Rob Paulson, who was Yakko from the Animaniacs. He was Raphael from the original Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that is, and Donatello from the new version of it, the kind of computer-generated version. He was Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. It's really varied voice actor. He's like A-list voice actor. So to have him on this game is amazing. I don't know if he lists it as one of his greatest achievements, but I think he does an exceptional job with this. Bloody brilliant. And the other voice actors that they've got in this game are really interesting as well. They've got Sheena Easton, the singer. So as we meet the characters, I'll let you know about who they are, who they're voiced by, I should say. Okay, so Mort's come over and introduced himself. I'll say, who are you? Who am I? How about you start? Who are you? I don't know, I can't remember. You can't remember your name? Ha, well, next time you spend a night in this burg, go easy on the bub. Name's Mort. I'm trapped in here too. Trapped? Yeah, since you haven't got time to get your legs yet, here's the chant. I've tried all the doors and this room is locked tighter than a chastity belt. We're locked in? Where? What is this place? It's called the Mortuary. It's a big black structure with all the architectural charm of a pregnant spider. The Mortuary? What, am I dead? Not from where I'm standing. You've got scars aplenty though. Looks like some buck painted you with a knife. All the more reason to give this place a laugh before whoever carved you up comes back to finish the job. Scars? How bad are they? Well, the carvings on your chest aren't too bad, but the ones on your back? Say, looks like you got a whole tattoo gallery on your back, Chief. Spells out something. Tattoos on my back, what did they say? Looks like you come with directions. Let's see, it starts with, I know you feel like you've been drinking a few kegs of stick swash, but you need to center yourself. Among your possessions is a journal. That'll shed some light on the darker the matter. Farod will fill you in on the rest of the chant if he's not in the dead book already. Farod, does it say anything else? Yeah, there's a bit more. Let's see, it goes on. Don't lose the journal or we'll be up the sticks again, and whatever you do, do not tell anyone who you are or what happens to you, or they'll put you on a quick pilgrimage to the crematorium. Do what I tell you. Read the journal, then find Farod. No wonder my back hurts. There's a damn novel written there. As for the journal I'm supposed to have with me, was there one with me while I was lying here? No, you were stripped to the skins when you arrived here. Sides, looks like you got enough of a journal penned on your body. What about Farod? Do you know him? Nobody I know, but then again, I don't know many people. Still, some folks got to know where to find Farod. Once we get out of here, that is. How do we get out of here? Well, all the doors are locked, so we'll need a key. Chances are one of these walking corpses in the room has it. Walking corpses? Yeah, the mortuary keepers use dead bodies as cheap labour. The corpses are dumb as stones, but they're harmless. Won't attack you unless you attack first. Okay, is there some other way? I don't want to kill them just for a key. What, you think it's going to hurt their feelings? They're dead. But if you want a bright side to this, if you kill them, at least they'll have a rest before their keepers raise them up to work again. Well, alright, I'll take one of them down to get the key, I guess. Well, before you do that, arm yourself first. I think there's a scalpel on one of the shelves around here. The guide here just tells you the buttons to press. Alright, I'll look for one. One last thing. Those corpses are slow as molasses, but getting punched by one of them is like being kissed by a battering ram. If they start getting an edge on you, remember you can run, and they can't. Use it to keep some distance if you need to recover. Okay, your movement is based on how far you push the left stick. Alright, thanks for the advice. Okay, so I found actually there's two ways to play this. So I'm steering at the moment with the left stick. And it's a bit tricky, and it'll kind of lock onto stuff. So that, you know, it's locking onto that unit over there, that doorway, that cupboard thing, the bit on the floor. So you can do that, and that's okay. You know, you can run around like this. Run around the room and reveal the area. Or you can do it in what they're calling tactics mode, and it then becomes kind of like the point and click that you would have been used to on mouse and keyboard.
Done.
So I can press here and they'll move. They'll move together. Like so. So I'm going to mix it up. I think there's certain situations where one will be better than the other. So we'll play around with it. But Mort has given us a bit of a quest to find the scalpel. Mission number 1, find scalpel. Okay, some bandages. And a scalpel. Alright, you found the scalpel. Now go get those corpses. And don't worry, I'll stay back and provide valuable tactical advice. Well, maybe you could help me, Mort? I will be helping you. Good advice is hard to come by. I mean, helping attacking the corpse? Me, I'm a romantic, not a soldier. I just get in the way. Now, as I've been going through this, I've been choosing one of two options. Sometimes there's lots of different dialogue options to choose. What you choose will start affecting your alignment. So if you don't know about Dungeons & Dragons alignments, they convey how your character views the world or how he acts within the world. In Planescape Torment, you start right in the middle of the kind of axis that is good and evil, and right in the middle of the axis that is chaotic and lawful. So as you start to drive conversation one way or the other, it'll start nudging you towards one of those alignments. So you could become chaotic evil, so someone who doesn't give a hoot about the law and is self-centered and will throw his granny under the bus if it's to help his own means. Or you could be lawful good, which is the opposite end of the spectrum. A goody two-shoes who always wants to help people, and if they give someone their word, they will honour their word. Their word is their bond. So you've got lots of ways to play the game. I'm going to try and be a good guy. Being an evil guy never sits with me too well. This game's really well set up to be an evil bastard. But I'm not going to play around with that too much. I just don't have it in me to be mean to the characters that I travel with. I just like them too much. They're like my pals. So instead I'm going to be good. And I'm going to be more chaotic this time though. So last time I played it, I was that goody two-shoes guy. I'm going to be a little bit more liberal with the truth. I'm going to say some of the funnier lines. I'm going to choose some of the crazier conversation options just to see how it goes and be a little bit more chaotic. I'm still going to be a good guy, but a kind of funny one at the same time. Okay, so I think here, if I chose option 1, that's kind of aggressive. That's a more evil way of going, so I'm going to say alright then. Alright, it's fine, I'll just fight the zombie one-on-one. Don't worry, I've just woken up. I may or may not have been dead. What says it's time to introduce these corpses to the second death? Apparently on my own. He is with me though. I'm pretty sure if I go and attack someone, he'll help. Alright, let's go talk to the zombie. This shambling corpse looks like it has been dead for several years. The skin along its forehead has peeled back, revealing its chalk white skull. Someone has chiseled the number 569 into the exposed bone. I'm looking for a key. Do you happen to have one? Chief, they can't hear you, alright? They're dead. But you're dead and you're talking to me. I mean, he has a valid point. Yeah, but I'm special. Death couldn't kill my zest for life. These corpses here, they probably didn't have much personality to begin with. I see. Look, Chief, watching you trying to swap the chant with these corpses isn't doing much for my morale. Let's leave the corpse talk for the barmies, alright? Alright then, let's go. That's a point as well. He's using terms like barmies, chant, give this place the laugh, these kind of phrases. They're specific to the Planescape setting. So when it was created, there was this kind of secondary language built in, these colloquialisms that they use in the game, and most of them are in context, so they make sense. Chant is just the way that they talk. The planar or planar chant is the language used by people who travel the planes, so the planes of existence, the multiverse. Given the place the laugh is to just escape or run off. Barmies are mad people. So, you know, it's contextual, you'll get it. And if I think there's something particularly radical that they'll say, I'll try and make it clear. Right, so, oh, there's a unit to check. Nothing on it though. Another one. I think there is a way. I haven't found the button yet, but I think there is a way to make everything glow if it's lootable. No, it's not that, that's the pause. There is a button somewhere, I will find it, which will make things a little bit easier. But I don't mind exploring, I mean, it's pretty obvious stuff that you can click on. Okay, let's talk to this zombie. This corpse's head lolls back and forth on its shoulders. Judging from the angle of the neck, it looks like this man may have been hanged. Wonder what he did. Probably not anything good. The number 825 has been painted on the side of his head. I'm going to ask him again. I'm looking for a key. Chief, they can't hear you. They're dead. Yeah. So it's the same text that comes up. Okay. This one. This corpse stops and stares blankly at you as you approach. The number 782 is carved on his forehead, and his lips have been stitched closed. The faint smell of formaldehyde emanates from the body. Okay, I'm looking for the key. Mort chimes in. This looks like the lucky petitioner here. Chief, look, he's got the key there in his hand. This corpse looks like the one with the key. It's holding it tightly in its left hand with its thumb and forefinger locked around it in a death grip. It looks like you'll need to hack the corpse's hand off to free the key. Yeesh. Okay, I need that key, corpse. Looks like you're not long for this world. Oh, I'm attacking. Okay, I'm attacking. And Mort is helping. Despite what he said, despite his protests, he did help. I have the key. Excellent. I mean, that's quite easy. Actually, hang on. I don't think I actually equipped that scalpel. Oh, well, I just punched him to death. Have that. I mean, he is pretty, even though his strength's low, he is pretty ripped. He's been to the gym a couple of times. What's one of those, eh? What's a gym? Okay. Right. Now, this door, I don't think it's the right one. No. Because it's this door. Just some advice, Chief. I'd keep it quiet from here on. No need to put any more corpses in the dead book than necessary. Especially the femmes. Plus, killing them might draw the caretakers here. I don't think you mentioned before. Who are the caretakers? They call themselves the Dustmen. You can't miss them. They have an obsession with black and rigor mortis of the face. They're an addled bunch of ghoulish death worshippers. They believe everybody should die, sooner, better than later. I'm confused. Why do these Dustmen care if I escape? Weren't you listening? I said the Dusties believe everybody's got to die, sooner, better than later. You think the corpses you've seen are happier in the dead book than out of it? The corpses I've seen here, where did they come from? Death visits the plains every day, Chief. These shamblers are all that's left of the poor sods who sold their bodies to the caretakers after death. Okay, before you said something about making sure we don't kill any female corpses. Why? But are you serious? Look, Chief, these dead chits are the last chance of a couple of hardy bashers like us. We've got to be chivalrous. No hacking them up for keys, no lopping their limbs off, things like that. Last chance? What are you talking about? Chief, they're dead. We're dead. See where I'm going? Huh? You can't be serious. Chief, we've already got an opening line with these limping ladies. We've all died at least once. We'll have something to talk about. They'll appreciate men with our kind of death experience. Wait, didn't you say before that I'm not dead? Well, alright, you might not be dead, but I am. And from where I'm standing, I wouldn't mind sharing a coffin with some of these fine, sinewy cadavers I see here. Mort starts clacking his teeth. Oh my god. He is a creep, but, you know, he's a skull. He can't actually get up to much. Of course, the caretakers would have to part with him first, and that's not likely. Okay. Alright, I'll try to remember that. Look, Chief, it's obvious you're still a little addled after your kiss with death. So I got 2 bits of advice for you. 1, if you've got questions, ask me, alright? Alright, if I've got questions, I will ask you. 2nd, if you're half as forgetful as you seem to be, start writing stuff down. Whenever you come across something that might be important, jot it down so you don't forget. Well, if I had the journal I was supposed to have with me, I'd do that. We'll start a new one then, Chief, no loss. There's plenty of parchment and ink around here to last you. Alright, couldn't hurt. I'll make a new one. Use it to keep track of your movements. If you ever start to get cloudy on important things like who you are, or more importantly, who I am, use it to refresh your memory. Alright, I got it, let's go.
Updated my journal.
Oh, that brings memories back. Updated my journal. He does see that a lot. Some conversations it pops up lots of times. He really likes updating that journal. I mean, it's for good reason. If you were an amnesiac immortal, you would write stuff down. It's like the Butterfly Effect film, right? He wrote stuff down, keep himself on the straight and narrow. Now let's have a look at that journal. Here it is, journal. So we've got our quests in here, and literally like Dear Diary, with some important text in it. You can search for specific words, that's good. And then, eesh, I mean, that's not the best photo of him, is it? I mean, his angles are all wrong. If he's wanting a good photo, he's going to have to hold his camera above his head for a start. So he's got that all wrong. Yeah, so you're in the name of someone you awoke on a slab in the mortuary and sigil covered in scars and tattoos. And here's Mort's a talking skull. His sole weapon seems to be his mouth, whether by taunting or biting. Seems to be along for the ride, whether you want him around or not. You were somewhat curious as to how he's able to float around. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It's magic, isn't it? It's the phlebotinum, or whatever the term is for the trope. It solves all problems. He can float around. He's a skull. He's cool. It's fine. And then NPCs. Oh yeah, so it starts filling up with the kind of creatures that you meet. Zombies. Not really lookers, are they? Although this is a 20-year-old game, and that guy's got a man bun. So I think they were predicting something here. They were bang on trend. Stylish before they knew it. Well done. Okay. Let's have a look around this new room that we've got into then. Okay. I like to do this. I mean, sometimes you get attacked, so you got to be on your toes, but you know, see what you're dealing with in a room, and then you can talk to the people in it. Okay. The shambling corpse gazes at you with vacant eyes. Her skin is paper thin, almost wispy. It looks like someone draped a sheet of cobwebs across her frame. The number 594 has been scratched onto her forehead with a charcoal pen. Now I wouldn't choose this in real life. I wouldn't say this next line. I presume he's having a laugh. He's having a joke. And this isn't a legitimate attempt to woo a zombie. But I'm going to go with it. So, do anything later? The corpse continues to stare at you. Okay, thank God that didn't work out. Oh, psst. You see the way she was looking at me, huh? You see that? The way she was following the curves of my occipital bone? Oh, Mort thinks that she likes him. You mean the blank-eyed, beyond the grave stare? What, are you blind? She was scouting me out. It was shameless the way she wanted me. Okay, wanted you to go away maybe. She was obviously too distracted by me to pay attention to some stupid bobbing head with a big mouth. You? Ha, yeah, right. Trust me, chits beyond the grave don't care about all that physicality, and I've got a body and I'm scarred and tough looking. They want guys with spirit. That's me, Chief. You? Corpses like you are common as copper. Whatever, Mort, let's go. I'm not gonna compete with you for zombie affection. You can have all the zombies you want, mate. The left side of this woman's face looks as if it was caved in with a club. painful, and her flesh sags in bruised, swollen clumps over her ruined skull. The number 626 has been stitched under the corpse's right cheek, just below the eye. Nasty wound you've got there. Presume that's not a chat-up line as well. Okay, farewell. And then this guy. Hello. This corpse is lumbering along a triangular path. Once it reaches one of the corners of the triangle, it pauses, then turns and staggers forward to the next corner. It has 965 tattooed on the side of its skull. As you approach, it halts and stares at you. Huh, looks like someone forgot to tell this sod to stop walking the rule of threes. What do you mean? These corpses don't have much left in the attic, so they can't do more than one task at a time. When they're told to do something, they'll keep doing it until someone tells them to stop. This poor sod probably finished some task and they forgot to tell him. You said something about the rule of threes.
Updated my journal.
See, I told you. Updated my journal. Well, the rule of threes is one of those laws about the planes, about things tending to happen in threes, where everything's composed of 3 parts, so there's always 3 choices, and so on and so forth. You don't sound like you hold much faith in it. It's a load of wash. If you ask me, if you look for a number, any number, and try to attach some great meaning to it, you're going to find plenty of coincidences. Alright, let's keep moving.